Hi TJs, I'm here with Linbert Spencer ahead of our webinar that we are discussing diversity and inclusion on. Linbert, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm Linbert Spencer, as has been said. I'm one of the founder directors of the Centre for Inclusive Leadership, and we tend to do pretty much what we say on the tin. We're concerned with supporting organisations in all sectors to be more effective around the leadership agenda, and our focus is around the primacy of inclusion. We have a kind of tongue-in-cheek byline, which is that the answer is inclusion. Now, what was the question?
Well, that brings us on really nicely to our question. So our panel kind of live video discussion that we have every month, our question coming up is it learning and development's job to push diversity and inclusion in the company culture? So what are your opening thoughts about that?
Well, I think it should absolutely be on L&D's agenda because if we are concerned with supporting and promoting a learning culture in an organization, then apart from anything else, people learn best when they feel safe, when they feel secure, when they feel that they belong, and that's all about inclusion. So if L&D is driving inclusion, it's part and parcel of creating a culture in which people are going to learn more easily, apart from anything else, because they're going to be less concerned about making mistakes.
I really like that idea of safety, which most trainers strive for in their learning kind of interventions anyway. If we look at this a bit more broadly about the company culture, is it L&D's job to be kind of pushing that around the company culture, or should it come from somewhere else?
Well, I suppose for me the answer is it should be coming from everywhere in the hierarchy. I think it's a leader's job to manage the inclusion of their people, and in thinking about L&D as a leadership element of the organization, it's absolutely their role to be concerned with facilitating, supporting, pushing the notion of inclusion as a key factor in performance.
And what does this actually look like? Is it just about women? Is it about people of colour? Is it about just saying, well, actually, we'll promote one person over another and have that positive discrimination? Is it much more subtle than that?
I think I'm not sure it's necessarily subtle, but it's perhaps different from that. I think that the areas that you've mentioned are all about the importance of diversity, which is about the extent to which different people are engaged or not engaged. Whereas inclusion is essentially about facilitating an emotion. So whether people feel included or not. And I think that sometimes in organizations, there is a real confusion between the two things. We talk about, don't we, diversity and inclusion, almost as though they were a thing. And of course, they're different things. And if we can have people feeling included, then there's a greater chance of driving diversity. So you get more diversity if more people feel included. If people feel included, you will get benefit from diversity in a way that if you just have a lot of diversity, you may be getting little or no benefit from the difference that people bring because they'll be too committed to fitting in, that is, trying to be the same as everybody else or trying to be what they think other people want them to be. And so you miss out on any of the value that their difference could bring because they're not bringing any difference. They're looking over their shoulder to think, well, what do I need to do in order to stay safe in this place?
And tell us a little bit about how you've helped organisations or leaders in the past with that inclusion element, with making people feel comfortable that they're welcome somewhere.
Well, I think what we have done and what we do primarily relates back a little bit to what I just said, in that we help organizations to recognize that the inclusion, diversity, and equality agenda, whilst it is an important agenda, they need to recognize the distinctiveness of the elements of the agenda, because people can have a sense of feeling that they're not discriminated against, but that doesn't necessarily mean to say they feel included. So one of the things that we help organizations with is to understand better what are the elements, and they're very simple ones actually, that cause people to feel included. And they can be as simple as saying hello, saying goodbye at the end of the day, using people's names rather than either saying hey you, which doesn't happen too often these days, but where people might use a nickname because they've decided that the individual's name is too hard to pronounce. And one of the challenges around something like that, of course, is that individuals often collude in that because we don't like to keep saying, well, no, actually you've got it wrong, my name is so-and-so. And so there can be some collusion there, which then causes people not to give 100%, even though they're not being actively discriminated against. Neither are they being positively included by doing some of these very simple and straightforward things.
Understood. Gosh, we've got a lot to talk about in our live panel discussion. All going to be on video. And yeah, 26th of March, 4 p.m. UK time. Linbert, where can we find out more about you, about a website, maybe social media?
Well, we've got a website, www.the-inclusiveleadership.com. The Center for Inclusive Leadership.com, which is straightforward. And there's lots of information there, and we can be accessed very easily through that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, and looking forward to it.
Okay.